Imagine for a moment you're standing in the midst of a storm, a swirling tempest of confusion, doubt and pain, the kind of storm that shakes you to your very core. The wind howls like 1,000 voices, screaming in desperation, and the rain falls in sheets, blurring everything in sight. The world around you feels dark, lost, almost as if it's teetering on the edge of something catastrophic. You can almost hear the voice of fear calling out, "Is there any hope? Is there someone who can pierce through this darkness and set things right?" Then, suddenly, the storm pauses. A hush blankets the world, and as if from another realm entirely, you see him. Standing tall, his form radiant, his presence undeniable. He steps forward through the storm like a warrior entering the battlefield, unshaken by the chaos around him. His eyes blaze with a fire that could melt the very mountains beneath his feet, and his hair, as white as snow, seems to reflect a purity untouched by time. You can feel the intensity of his gaze from miles away, and it stirs something deep inside you, a recognition, a longing. This is not just any ordinary figure. No, this is the glorified Christ, the embodiment of truth, power, and grace. And what happens next is nothing short of awe-inspiring. To understand the gravity of this moment, we have to look back. This vision of Christ isn't the same humble carpenter from Nazareth, walking the dusty roads of Galilee, healing the sick and raising the dead. No, this is a transcendent vision, the Christ in his glorified state, after the ultimate victory over death itself. Imagine the transformation of a man who has endured the suffering of the cross, conquered death, and ascended into glory. What does he look like now? What is his presence like? Picture this. His hair, white as snow, is symbolic of purity and perfection. This isn't just a cosmetic feature. White hair speaks of wisdom, a deep, eternal knowledge that spans across the ages, untouched by the passing of time. Christ, now in his glorified state, radiates the wisdom of eternity. His hair isn't just a color, it's a crown of experience, divine understanding, and unending truth. Then there are those blazing eyes, not just a flash of intensity. No, these eyes are like burning fire, eyes that pierce through the darkness and the lies of the world. They are eyes that don't just see the surface, but penetrate to the very core of all things. They are eyes that see you, not just your actions, but your heart. Every hidden thought, every secret fear, every unspoken hope is laid bare before them. And yet, there is no judgment in those eyes, just love, power, and a call to transformation. But it's his double-edged sword that truly grabs your attention. It's not some decorative piece of metal you find hanging in a museum. No, this sword is alive. It's not even in his hand. It's coming straight out of his mouth. The word of God, sharp, powerful, and capable of dividing between soul and spirit, truth and deception. This sword isn't about conquest. It's about cutting through the lies of the world and bringing forth ultimate clarity. It's about declaring truth with authority and striking down the falsehoods that bind people in chains. It's a sword that doesn't need to be swung in battle. It speaks, and the world listens. Now, let's pause for a moment. Let's talk about the storm. Why is the world in such chaos? And why does Christ step into it with such authority? The world, our world, is full of uncertainty. Just look around you. What do you see? Wars, suffering, confusion, injustice, and division. It feels like we're living in a perpetual storm, doesn't it? Sometimes it feels as though the wind of doubt is knocking us down and the rain of fear drenches our every step. People are asking questions like, is there meaning to life? Is there a way out of this mess? In that storm, Christ is the answer. He isn't just an observer of the chaos. He steps right into it, unchallenged. His blazing eyes see through the confusion, and his double-edged sword, the very word of God, cuts through the darkness like a hot knife through butter. It's not just a weapon, it's truth itself. And truth, as we know, is powerful. It's the kind of truth that exposes lies, liberates the oppressed, and heals broken hearts. Imagine standing there in the middle of your own personal storm and hearing that truth. It doesn't come in a soft whisper or a gentle plea. No, it comes like a mighty roar, breaking through the noise, calling you to rise up and stand firm. Christ speaks, and everything shifts. But here's the twist in our story. This glorified Christ, this powerful warrior, isn't just here to bring judgment. He's here to transform. You see, the sword that comes from his mouth is not just for destruction, it's for creation. It cuts through the darkness, yes, but it also clears the way for something beautiful. It's like a sculptor chiseling away at a block of marble, revealing the masterpiece within. And here's where it gets personal. When you encounter Christ in his glorified state, when you look into those blazing eyes and feel the power of his presence, you're invited into that transformation. The storm outside may rage on, but you, standing in his presence, are given a new identity. The old things, fear, confusion, doubt, are cut away. What's left is the true you, the person you were always meant to be, strong, clear, and purposeful. This isn't just a moment to marvel at. It's an invitation to step into that transformation. It's not about what you can do for Christ, it's about what he can do in you. When you're aligned with his truth, the storm becomes background noise, and his glory becomes the lens through which you see the world. So here you are, standing before the glorified Christ. His white hair, blazing eyes, and double-edged sword. The storm rages around you, but he stands unshaken. His truth is unshakable. The question is, what will you do with this vision? Will you stay in the storm, swept away by the winds of fear and doubt? Or will you step into the light, where his truth will not only set you free, but empower you to live as a warrior in your own right? This vision of Christ is more than just an image. It's a promise that no matter how dark the world may get, there is one who stands firm, one who brings truth, power, and transformation. And just as he overcame the world, he invites you to do the same. So, what's the next step? The invitation is yours. The storm is temporary, his glory, eternal.